There are two moments in this movie where I'm like, thank you. That is fucking beautiful. This is one of them. A lot of people have theorized online that Batman was going to die. You see the trailers and, this Catwoman's just like, you don't owe these people anything. You've given them everything. And he's like, not everything. Not yet. And you're like, oh my God, Nolan's going to do the impossible. He's literally going to crucify Batman for our sins.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, nobody's ever thought about this. Nobody's ever thought about fucking killing Batman. And when you're watching the movie, I'll be honest with you, when he fucking gets to that beat, I was okay with it. It sounds so stupid. Scott's looking at me like you need help. It was beautiful, dude. If you're a Batman
when they
fan,
get to the moment in the movie where
I'll say this.
I've
seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about like I cried in the last 10 minutes, so I'm not going to be ashamed of fucking crying here. But there's
which is not the last 10 minutes of the movie.
I know. And ironically, I didn't even cry in the movie itself. But in reflecting on it, it's pretty damn beautiful. My eyes were glassy, but I was also more fucking thunderstruck that he was doing what he was doing. Because I was like, wow, this never occurred to me as the way that Batman would die. There's a shot where he's in the bat and they cut to Christian Bale, and it's really quite beautiful. And they're playing this kind of like, music. The score goes away to more of an a cappella choral thing of heaven, this motherfucker gonna die. And he just has this look on his face of like, all right, this makes sense. Like, this is what my whole life was committed to saving Gotham, and this is the only way I could do it. And as previously mentioned, the autopilot doesn't really work on this vehicle, so so I guess this is the end for Batman. Yeah. So after the death and after the funeral, they're doing wrap-up beats and shit like that. And Alfred's wrap-up beat is Alfred sitting at that same cafe that he flashed back to when he was telling Bruce, like, I'd go there and I have this fancy drink and I'd imagine seeing you. And if I saw you with your wife or your kids or whatever, I wouldn't need to go talk to you. I would just smile and I know that you were happy. Alfred says, I'm going to cry again. Alfred sits down in the cafe, Scott. This is such a beautiful moment that like it makes up for anything else that I got issues with. So there we are at the end of the movie, dude. And I'm delighted. Cause this is where I get emotional. Cause it was like, I can't believe I forgot. Cause I remember when he said it up front, I was like, oh, this is going to get paid off. But Nolan does so much and throws so much at you throughout the movie
that you've forgotten.
Completely misplaced it. But then when you see him in the cafe, I'm like, no, oh, this is going to be amazing. And he sits down and it's the replay of the thing he talked about earlier in the movie. And then finally he locks eyes. And Michael Caine is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
So his performance says it all. And what his performance in his face, Scott, what it says is the size of a tangerine.
No, I was laughing because you're like, he's an amazing performer. And I just flashed back to him singing Swanee River.
He conveys it on his face. And the score, of course, is behind him. And what he conveys on his face literally could have been enough. You could have went to credits right there because you were like,
you didn't need to cut to what he saw.
But
you
they
know
did.
What he saw.
You know what he saw. But he does. He cuts to what he saw. And I'll be honest with you, I was not unhappy about that. It was wholly satisfying. And it's a shot of Bruce Wayne. He's sitting there with Selina Kyle. And I'll be honest with you, I as much as you could have ended on Alfred, the fact that Bruce Wayne like is sitting there smiling, I swear to God, I get emotional about it. I'm like, finally, somebody gave this motherfucker a happy ending. This guy's sitting.
Somebody took him to a Thai massage parlor.
I mean, it's always ill for this dude. Every movie ends with like, if shit goes wrong again, I guess I'll come back. But I don't know if you guys realize this, but I did lose my parents. I'm very sad. So please limit the amount of time that you use me.
When I'm not Batman, I'm sad, man.
Yeah, I'm blubbery, man. I'll be honest with you. I would cry more than Fat Kev Smith. And this is, to me, the most satisfying moment. And I probably won't be able to get through it without crying. The most satisfying moment in the whole series, because it really, it ends it on such a human note. All this bombastic fucking vehicles that don't exist, cities being taken over, fucking dudes in masks. In the midst of all this, there's a really human moment that makes you go, oh yeah, that's why this all happened. Jim Gordon goes like, no one will ever know, like the hero that saved their city. I'm not going to get through it. He goes, Batman goes, a hero can be anybody. Even someone, I can't do it justice. I'm not going to, he goes, a hero could be anyone, even someone who does something as small as put the coat on the shoulders of a young boy to let him know that the world wasn't ending. He doesn't do it like that, because that would be a terrible moment if Batman started crying. And Jim Gordon's like, would you get the bomb out of here? We can deal with this later. He's like, no, we can't. There's no autopilot. Don't be a crybaby. It is. It's a beautiful moment. I heard lots of people kind of choke up, a little some tears. I've seen on Twitter people talking about like, oh, that's beautiful. It's a really nice moment because it's like they've had this relationship. He never knew who he was, never told him who he was. And then before he takes off, he's just like, anybody can be a hero. You were a hero, dude. You saved my life one day. And that's why I do what I do.